Welcome to Season 1 of Gaming with Scott presents Stargate SG10, a Southgate Media production. Join us each week as our Stargate SG team follows a path of adventure and attempts to save the world and each other from the dangers of the universe. Starring Joshua Jackson, Kat Moran, Scott Troiano, and Cindy Bergen, with Scott Somerville running the table as Game Master. Epic adventures await just beyond this music. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Gaming with Scott presents Stargate SG10. I'm here with Josh Jackson.
Safety is still off.
Cindy Bergen.
Hello, how you doing?
Yours truly, Scott Troiano. What the hell was that? Kat Moran.
Kiss, kiss.
And our Game Master, Scott Somerville.
As they go through the desert with a lizard with no name.
Wow.
We need a soundtrack.
Yes, we do.
Oh, yeah. I love that.
America.
Kasuf was just taking us through the gates of
Nagata.
That's Nagata. And I
Sounds
just...
Japanese.
Like Nevada, but not.
Nagata.
Nagata.
Inagata. Davida, baby.
Yeah.
Nagata. Moving on. Sorry. He's got notes. This is so cool, a storyteller with notes. Do I ever have notes?
What are these notes you
What are
speak
these?
of?
Yeah, what are these notes of which you speak?
Took you
They foretell your doom.
Yeah. Took you 8 months to come up with a formalized plot. Just gonna
Right?
say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Scott is so good. He's done homework
It's
and
like-
turned in.
Yay, Scott.
It's like the Jews will wander in the desert for the first 8 months, and then we will get to
Then it
something.
would be something that was written down.
Yes.
And I didn't really write it down. I put it on my
And
phone.
here is
and
how I
saved it. It
will
was
screw
horrible.
them over.
Manna, get your manna.
Water. Wine. If you don't jump in at some point here, we're going to keep this up forever.
I really will.
Go for it for a while.
Go for it.
Lazarus comes up the bat.
There's a
he
bitch.
gets hit.
It's hit.
He's down.
And he's dead.
He's dead.
Holy cow.
Oh, he's up
You're
again.
gonna do Harry. Holy cow, he's dead.
Walking it off.
Wait, he's moving.
Okay.
He's alive. Take your place,
one of
Lazarus.
the differences between boys and girls at the gaming table. They're a hell of a lot louder than we are.
What?
Hey, I turned your gain up. You sound just as loud as I do. And
No.
you do know that, by the
Believe
way,
me.
in the first ones, there were quiet issues, and that's fine. I took that one, amplify, that one, amplify, and left our two voices just the same.
Yeah.
So what I've done tonight is I've gone zoop. There, we're all good.
My character doesn't talk that much, so it's all
We are all the same volume. It's a wonderful thing, volumetrically speaking.
All right.
Yeah, but some of us still talk louder than others.
Oh, if you're if what you're insinuating, Cindy, is I'm loud.
Yeah, a little bit.
What my listeners are
If
going.
you think Troiano is loud, I know someone you should meet.
Who?
Adam Smith.
Oh yeah, well that's
That bad.
There's a shout out to
That
the loud
carries.
people in the world.
Still,
Yeah, that
again, a guy.
you're right. Oh, absolutely. And what our listeners
play,
at
man.
home are saying right now, Cindy, is they're going, "Yeah, Scott is loud. Have you ever met Scott?" Oh, well then we're all good. Yeah, they're like, "Oh, so you've met him?" Yes, it's a wonderful thing.
Can you hear him across the lobby of a hotel and from 2 floors up? Yes.
Yes, you can. I get called in every 6 months for my boss, and she goes, and this is how she did the last one. She went, "Yeah, come on in, close the door." Yeah. So, Amy, a couple cubes over, she told me that your voice carries and that I should perhaps talk to you about it. So, it's been about 6 months, so I wanted to call you in and have you close the door so that Amy would know that I'm talking to you, and Amy would know that your voice carries if she's ever met you, but I don't think you've actually ever been introduced. So I want her to think that I'm telling you that you need to turn your voice down, and about 6 months from now, we'll probably have this conversation again. So how's everything going? It was just like, okay, great.
And what Scott thought was, she will rue the day!
No, I thought, oh, this again. And it's just a different name. Every
Furious.
time. It's one more. It's like, oh, who is it? It's Amy, and then there was Cindy, and then before that there was the other Amy, and then it was just, and it's like, okay, what's the name this 6-8 months? And somebody goes, yeah, I've had some people say that you get kind of loud when you're on the phone because you're directing meetings and you're a little loud. And I'm like, yeah, because I'm invested and I'm emotional about making this a
You're
success.
enthusiastic.
And I'm enthusiastic, and that will become a steamroller of a wall of oppressive noise.
Furious
Yes.
anger and vengeance, so saith what?
No, it doesn't even
Ezekiel
have to be
25:17.
anger and vengeance. It's just overly enthusiastic, and when you get overly enthusiastic, you kind of project
Oh,
a little
no.
bit.
Agreed, but he is a loud motherfucker.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Absolutely, 100%.
I like it.
I'm not against that.
Okay, are we done with this?
No.
Do
He
you
said
now?
he said give it a run. So
Okay,
breathe
that was a
in
run.
through the nose, out through the mouth. Oh, I'm sorry. What?
I want to get back to the game.
That was a run. Okay, so storytelling.
And as we return to our adventures, they've just been met at the gates of Nagata by Kasuf, the high priest of Nagata,
Ooh, he's the high priest.
And
Gata Davida, baby.
and the people who have met them somewhat timorously and with some contention. We rejoin our adventures as the translator is approached by Kasuf. As I said, he approaches you somewhat timorously. He's not certain what to make of you, and there's a number of conversations going on, a veritable susurrus with the population. As they're observing you, all of them are discussing something with great animation.
Can I attempt again to overhear any of it?
Yes.
The GM with the living
No, I
Thesaurus
cannot.
is even-
And red die is still out of play.
You attempt to overhear, but Kasuf immediately shushes them up. And he makes a great show of welcoming you all into the city, with hand gestures. Please.
Question. Does it seem like there are different political or cultural factions?
Give me a roll.
It's like caste system. Ooh.
Yeah, 2.
Based on your earlier success, you notice that the group of women that you've been watching before have slipped away as a group.
So they've disappeared.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
How much of this goes by my eye? I'm basically making sure that none of the crowd's going to just come up and maul us, I take it. Not by rend limb from limb.
No, they're generally staying back.
Okay.
They are looking at you with mixtures of curiosity. There's a lot of conversations going on until Kasuf, essentially puts a halt to it, and then starts welcoming you inside with great hand gestures.
We going?
Quick aside question. Do they seem to quiet down more out of respect or fear for Kasuf?
You can't tell. He speaks, with great authority in his voice, and they obey. You can't tell if it's out of fear or respect.
Okay.
Not at this point.
All right. Let's mosey.
Fair enough. And I gesture, much like Kasuf did, to Mo and let her go first.
Would that include or preclude a roll on sense motives?
Give me a roll.
Yeah, mannerisms.
Good call.
Nice.
You lying son of a...
4, and I've got a +3.
No, you're not sure.
And as Mo takes point, we will flank Dr. Meadows and make sure that she is appropriately escorted as well.
Are the other miners going with us?
Good question. Give me a roll.
2.
There's a heated discussion between the people who escorted you there, and some of them have been talking with other people in the crowd. Some of them are having very sharp discussion with some of the other people.
Can I catch any of it? With a 3, getting marginally better.
No, it's just too many conversations at once.
Okay. Is Tanis nearby?
No, he slipped away.
So I don't see him at all.
No, you didn't.
Did you mean Turnus, the commander?
No.
Oh,
the
okay.
miner that had spoken to me.
Okay. Just check. I was like, wait, did I just mishear? Okay.
No.
I'm better now.
You're good. You're good.
Because I was going to yell, ambush! This is going to be bad.
Because he was my point of contact. I don't know if any of the other miners will be too scared to talk to me at this point.
Great. Yay.
Okay.
All right, then we head in.
You're guided into this city. Once you're past the gates, they close them behind you and
that's
swing
ominous.
them shut. Give me a roll.
3.
Okay, yes, you do notice that the gates are made out of wood.
Is it hardwood?
Does it seem like they are shut and locked?
Bolted.
Bolted.
It's not
Okay.
imported.
No,
It's
no.
not imported pine. Go on. I'm sorry. I digress.
No, but to answer your question, it's a simple slide bolt. There's not a mechanism.
Not very advanced.
But you are guided through the streets, which twist and turn. Not a labyrinth as such, but you get the sense that there's a deliberation to the construction. The buildings are regular, but it's not a block construction by any means. It's very organic.
Like it basically grew naturally and was added onto? Or?
Lots of twists and turns. You wouldn't feel, you've got a sense of direction of where you're going, but if you had to find a particular building in a particular street, there's no way.
So kind of like London.
What about gardens now that we're inside?
No, but you do see evidence of water in troughs.
Okay.
Aqueduct?
Anything like even flower, like window planters?
No,
Anything
just
like that?
periodically there's troughs for the animals.
Okay. So this is not where they do their planting, that we can tell.
No. Okay, eventually you're brought to a fairly large courtyard that's curtained off in a number of areas. And Kasuf, says a few words to the crowd, which generally moves back and gives you space, and he invites you to what looks like a very comfortable seating area. He joins you as well as a few other individuals. Yes, there are hats.
Okay.
Damn it.
Outside, were there aqueducts, or was it all trough and probably by hand?
It's generally by hand.
Okay.
You do notice some troughs. And you do notice one of the women who is observing you has not joined the group, but is there in the background, where she's not being dismissed out of hand, but she's observing.
Okay. Just look her over, just catch her features.
Wink at her.
No.
Wow.
What? They might like that. You don't know.
We want to get in good with the locals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Okay. Why, yes, we do. That is our mission. Parameters. That's what those are, sir. Yes, sir. GM was giving me this stink eye, man. I was like, yes, we are to follow the law of what we were told to do.
Kasuf looks at you expectantly.
I've got salt if you want.
No food. I don't know if that would be appropriate.
Need a candy
you know
bar?
what you need to do?
Hmm.
Ask him for Daniel's notebook now. Because certainly he would know where it is.
If anyone
being the
would.
leader.
Good idea. First, I will again attempt to thank him for his hospitality in inviting us into the city. With a 3, not getting much better.
He's confused, but listening. He's trying to track what you're saying.
Okay. I will pull out my notebook again and say, we are looking for Daniel Jackson, and point to the notebook.
Kasuf leans over to a young man who's there at his side, and you hear Daniel Jackson's name mentioned a couple of times. And they're talking back and forth and looking at you. Give me a roll.
2. These all hate me now.
You hear something along the lines of what Tana said earlier.
Remind me what he said earlier.
When you asked him where Daniel Jackson was.
Okay. Point at the notebook again. Daniel Jackson's belongings, things, book. And just kind of make a gesture of
Where?
question mark. Do you know where they are? Where? 5, getting better?
Same kind of answer, although You hear mention of a daughter.
Oh. Aha.
You find the book?
No.
You think.
It sounds like, I could be wrong, he may have a daughter.
Why would I care about Kasuf's daughter?
Not Kasuf.
Daniel Jackson.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, I don't know if he has a daughter. I didn't know what
We
we
were
starting
telling
to...
you.
And suddenly there's a daughter in play. We're talking to the head guy. I'm wondering whether Master Sergeant is going to have to take another bullet for the team.
Whoa. Whoa.
Another, hang on. Is there something you haven't told us about?
Not a word.
So anyhow,
What you do on your own time is your own business.
so
Safety's still off.
Daniel Jackson's daughter.
Let's see.
Possibly.
This is my weapon,
Possibly,
this
if
is
I
my
understood
gun.
correctly.
That or rhododendron. You could have a potted plant. I don't know.
I'm sure it would be a lovely one.
So why don't we locate that and go on from there?
Select the backpack. See if maybe he left a backpack. See if
I'm
maybe
thinking
he
I
left a
might want to
backpack.
look more into his daughter because
Yeah,
she may have learned more than one language.
that would be nice if she did.
Indeed, it would.
Give me a roll on perception.
10. Yes, it's back.
All right. You get done explaining things that you just did with the captain. And you notice there's a couple of whispered conversations going on between Kasuf and a couple of people who are sitting beside him. Some of them are looking at you. Some of them are looking at the men.
I will lean forward and make it clear that I would like Kasuf's attention, and also that I'm not hiding the fact that I'm trying to eavesdrop. With another 10.
Okay, he takes notice of you. He forestalls you and says, Kasuf,
Mo.
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 Okay. He's looking around to the entire party.
Introduce yourselves, please.
Dr. Meadows.
Captain Covington.
Calhoun.
Okay. He and the rest of them take notice of it. You know, you can see them trying to file it away in their memories. Give me a roll.
9.
Master Sergeant doesn't roll off the tongue.
Yeah, well,
Did for Daniel Jackson as he's popping out babies. What the heck?
yeah, no, if he's got kids, that's a good thing.
I think.
I'm hoping.
I will just look very pointedly at that one man, because I am the only one who can.
Only one who can what?
8.
There can be only one.
Okay. I'll tell you later.
Alrighty. Fair enough.
That means
It'll
it
be an
must
amusing
good.
story, I promise.
Excellent. Daughter, book, anything?
Mhm.
Excellent.
Turning back to Kasuf.
Some of them are scowling at you.
At me?
One or two.
Okay.
Oh.
And
This
one
story
or two
might
are
get
scowling at the ones who are scowling.
What's the woman doing?
She's just watching things very patiently.
Okay.
She's got a very stoic expression on her face, not giving anything away, but she's being very intent.
Does she look like she's getting more than she should verbally? Like she doesn't seem that nonplussed or confused.
No, she doesn't seem confused, but she also seems very self-confident from what you can tell of her stature or pose.
Sure. Okay.
So you can't quite read that depth into things. but she's being very attentive to what's going on.
To both sides of the conversation?
Yes.
Does she have any jewelry or weaponry on her?
No.
Okay.
All right, turning back to Kasuf. Did Daniel Jackson have a child? 4.
He seems mystified by the question. You get the impression he doesn't understand.
Are there any children present in the crowd?
Give me a roll.
9.
There is a lot of agitation when you ask about children.
Sore point. Noted. That is curious.
That might be less.
Did Daniel Jackson have a wife or a companion? 2.
They're not sure what you asked about. Unless you can mime it somehow.
How would one mime that?
How would one mime
Not
what?
being quite so blatant.
It's like, did he have prostitutes?
Was he into blackjack and hookers? Is that what you're trying to ask? Okay.
No, I'm not the linguist.
Not the linguist.
Wedding ring, maybe? A
Well-
wedding ring, maybe?
That may not be a custom here,
That's
but I
Earth.
can try.
Yeah, well, it might not be their custom, but it might have been Daniel's. So I don't
Good
know
point.
if that would work.
It's worth a try.
Okay, are you asking the group? What are we trying to mime? What are
Yeah.
we-
I'm trying to ask if Daniel Jackson had a wife or a companion. How would I
was that in the
pantomime
report?
that question?
No, a wife or companion here.
Right. That's what I'm asking the GM was if that was in.
No, it was not in the report.
Okay, because like if it was like, yeah, he had a wife. Yeah, then I'd be like, sure, he had a wife. I would just tell you, yeah, he had a wife.
Yeah. How do I
You-
convey that concept of being married to someone? You know what? Fuck it. Mo's married. She's got a wedding ring on. Wife?
Husband.
Shoot.
Mate.
Don't marry yourself off.
Gonna try not to. I can think of
Is-
at least one person
is
who'd be
Red
very upset.
married? No, I didn't think so. No, and I can't remember what I wrote about my backstory
No, my
No.
doctor's divorced.
because then I was going to be like, yeah, wedding ring. Hey, we just got married. I don't
Lock-
necessarily want that one.
Lock arms with one of us. I don't know. That's about all I got.
From their perception of you, that may not be a good idea.
I tried. Above my pay grade.
Does it look like there are
According to their
any
perception, I am well
male,
above your pay
female
grade.
pair bonds here?
True.
You know, like an obvious old couple that are
There
standing
may
together.
be out in the crowds. There are definitely men and women who are together, but not seated here with you.
okay.
This is a small group, here to welcome you. You can definitely make that out.
What's Coptic for spouse?
What is Coptic for spouse? Die? Can I figure it out? 5? Spouse or any kind of partner?
Oh, just draw him some stick figures in your book. Show him a man and a woman.
You have to come up with the simplest answer, don't you?
I'm going to
That I
give
didn't
you
think
a
of.
one shot at this because you could get something absolutely wrong in this. So give me a roll.
Isn't that always the way it goes? Should we go evens odds?
Nope, straight up.
Okay.
Roll
Don't fail
high.
me now. 6.
That's not high.
Damn it.
But it's not desperately low. They just don't quite understand what you're saying.
I'll try the stick figure drawing. Just a man and a woman that look like they're holding hands.
That they get.
Aha.
Question. I'm watching when she's doing this. She's going to turn, and the whole while I'm an eye to her, scope the crowd. Eye to her, scope the crowd. She turns it around as well. What's the reaction to her writing?
Well, generally, they're very accepting of her.
But is it like
and
it was in the report? Where
it's-
when you wrote anything down, they flipped out.
No, for some reason. It may be because, well, it may be for several reasons, but
Sure.
no is the general response.
Okay, cool. I don't care if it's just because she wrote it. That's perfectly fine. Wait a minute. I just had an evil thought, but carry on. My apologies. I didn't mean to interrupt.
But evil thoughts can be so much fun.
Yeah.
Share with the group.
Share, damn it, share.
Because it's her that wrote it as opposed to one of us that wrote it. Get your pen and pad out, Master Sergeant.
Oh no, you're going to make me look bad.
Sir, you want me to draw something?
Not yet.
The younger one, who's next to Kasuf, moves a little closer and he points to the figure that you've made taller and more masculine, less attributes, and Daniel Jackson. Share.
Yes.
Share.
Shada?
Share.
I think we might have found her, gentlemen and lady.
Excellent. Good.
Ask where Sade is.
Uh-huh. I will attempt to ask. Pointing at Shada. Where? 5.
You've got wear down. There's some discussion back and forth. Just the tone of voice. They don't seem too concerned or bothered by the question. After a couple of moments, they look to Kasuf, and Kasuf looks to the younger lad, who looks back. Give me a roll.
8.
Different intonation, different manner of speaking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Same words, but different phrase.
I'll ask where again. Referring to the lands of the dead, if I can copy the intonation. With a 7.
That results in a very heated discussion.
6, can I figure out what that discussion is? Or the general premise?
The general premise seems to be, why are you here? You've asked an awful lot of questions of them, and they're having the very human reaction of, these people haven't told us anything about themselves. We had to work to get the names out of them. What's going on?
Fair enough.
They're being very differential and very polite, but there's a definite sense that's growing as,
Where's
this is
ours?
not a two-way conversation.
Right.
And they're being very hospitable, but
So question, Mo.
Yes.
Do we have a dialogue enough set up that we can go back and forth here? Because we need to put in a few more checks in the boxes. We need to let them know we're here to see how they're doing. We need to open up lines of communication between here and home. We really need to talk about the mine situation.
Yeah.
Probably in that order. We want to make sure they're doing well. We want to make sure that they're here for Pete. We want to be able to let the doctor loose on their general populace. Yay for them.
Yeah.
And in general, make sure that will be well received while giving them hopefully an olive branch along there. Are you good, or do you need time?
They seem very healthy, from what I've noticed.
Did you check the molars?
Not yet.
Okay, just
Cavity check.
Oh.
something like that. Well, yeah, for cavities, not that. Anyhow, so I was just going through the checklist in my head of our standing orders, and how are we as far as a line of communication? Or more appropriately, do you think we can get to hey, we're here to help. We want to make sure your general populace health is good, and put that check in the box first?
I think I can muddle through, but if we can find Shada, I think it might be a lot quicker.
What's a shada?
Daniel Jackson's wife.
Alrighty, good on. Wait a minute. So his widow.
Yes.
Okay.
But I think they're wondering why we're asking all of these questions. So if we can establish that's why we're looking for her, it might help us find her more easily, and then we can more easily communicate with them and accomplish our goals.
Wonderful. Alrighty.
Continue on.
Carry on.
Yes, sir. I'll try to somehow convey the idea that we're looking for Shada so that we can speak with the rest of them more easily.
Okay, how are you going to go about that? They pick out the name.
Mm-hmm. How would be a good way to do that?
We need Shada to facilitate communication. Or
Yeah, but when you're very
What's
shoddy with the
the-
language, how do you convey that? What's a good pantomime for facilitating conversation? Yeah.
exchanging words.
Yeah. We need Shada to talk to you more easily.
Shaore.
Shaude.
Shaore.
Shaure.
Shall
7.
You get the same kind of phrasings that she's not here.
Where? Where is she?
The-
Yes, where they said earlier.
yes, what they said earlier.
Question.
Where?
How about with your drawing of Daniels and Sade, adding in a small human with them and asking where? Would that
The idea of children seemed to be a touchy subject.
Yeah, I think I can understand why, because I haven't seen many here.
Yeah.
Oh, there are children.
Oh, there are?
There are.
Okay. Never mind. Rethink.
Is it a language thing? Is it a dialect thing? Do you need to?
I think it's more of a dialect thing.
You got a dictionary on you?
Well, yes.
So ask him where this, that. Ask him a few common words and see if he pronounces them the same way you pronounce them. You point and say it. If he corrects you, maybe the dialect thing is something we can overcome. Anything to jumpstart. I'm reaching here.
Out of character, I'm just thinking, why did I not think of these first?
That's all right.
How old is your character?
Old enough to have a PhD.
How old is your character? Doogie Howser.
Exactly. I know 16-year-olds that have PhDs. Oh.
No, she's not Doogie House.
I need better friends. No, I'm just kidding.
Natural 20.
Are we all doomed?
I'm hoping that was all our exceptional success when you go, so, river?
I hope so, yes.
So is this the river? No, that's the river. Oh,
Oh, gotcha, okay. Yeah, so I'll pull out my dictionary and...
Of Coptic.
Yes.
Yes. Bird, squirrely line, triangle, dog.
You said we were in kind of like a
Yeah.
tent area, or is it just curtained off in places?
It's curtained off. There's awnings. It screen the sun, basically. It's still an open plaza.
So I'll find the closest word for awning that's in the dictionary and point to one of the awnings.
You have no word for it, but you can point at it, and they...
The closest thing, like tent or something like that. 5.
They repeat something back to you.
Does it sound similar at all?
Not in this case.
Write it down.
Yes. Making a note of that next to the entry in the dictionary. Being very careful of my hand placement, but point to his garments and say the word for robe or tunic. 3. Not doing well.
He looks over at the woman who's standing off to the side and then looks back. Has a word with his son and, with the boy who's, you can see a familiar resemblance. Mm-hmm. And there's a bit of a discussion between them. You can't quite tell what they're talking about, but you've made an impression.
Okay. When he looks at the woman, I'll follow his line of sight and kind of ask, who is she? With a 6.
That's not bad.
Can she speak to us? 3.
You can tell, they're looking back to her. Obviously, you've pointed her out. She's looking at you and at the doctor, but doesn't really give any reaction to that. Your question didn't really translate. You're sure of that.
What did you ask him?
If she could speak to us.
Hey, Scott? DM? Point at the lady. Wave.
Come here.
She doesn't want to know.
All right.
There's a definite, and who are you moment.
Go. And hold up a bottle of something.
Shiny.
Vicodin?
Shiny.
I mean, I'm sorry.
Don't know if they have Vicodin here.
We got Oxy. Come on.
Yep.
And a gift for the lady.
We'll see. I'll look at her as well and motion to ask her to join the group.
Ibuprofen.
Always useful.
Miracle.
She stays apart. And there's some discussion about that, in that you invite her over. A lot of conversations back and forth at once.
Okay. Then while those conversations happen, I give a psst and give a head nod, like, you two. Don't wait for them. Don't bring her over. Go to her. We're going to do this.
Okay.
We're going to own this. Let's own this.
All right.
You go over to her and fire up the conversation.
I will look back at Kasuf, so I'm not rude by just getting up and walking away. And I will look at the woman, look at myself, or point at myself, and do the little walking motion of, I'm going to walk over to her.
There's a lot of animated discussion as you...
Stand up.
Well, as you stand up, but also as, you're trying to explain this. There's...
I just gave you medicine.
I think this would be more appropriate to the woman who's a healer than the man who's the speaker.
Okay. For him, well, I was telling you about alcohol. We did.
I have some matches
We
over
did
here.
plan on that, so
Probably should not mix matches with alcohol.
One of the men
with the
points at the other
Here.
two guys, particularly
Thank you.
the
bottle
younger
of
man.
wine.
They're pointing at your weapon,
No, not the weapon.
and there's some discussion going on about it.
What are they saying?
Give him the wine.
8.
Do you make it known
To
that you're
catch
looking
any
for
more.
barter
They're-
items?
They're getting the idea that, yes, they've seen you and you asking questions of each other, so they know there's some communication going on involved, but they're wondering why you two aren't saying very much.
Do you make it? Are you looking for barter items, or do you tell us this? Because
Yeah.
you two have been having kind of a sidebar
that's
thing.
that's
Not so much looking for barter
Sure.
items as just offers of thanks for the hospitality,
Yeah.
which she gave me a nice bottle of wine, so we'll try with that.
Because this character speaks American. That's about it. That's about all I got.
You're from Texas, honey. We know.
Okay,
That's
maybe
about
you
it.
should tell our host that the reason they aren't speaking very much is because you are our speaker of other languages. We only speak one. Well, two in my case.
Parlez-vous français?
Yes,
Veni
is silent.
vidi vici.
Yeah.
I know.
American and hick. That's
American and American.
Yeah.
I've got American and
Veni
French.
Vidi Vici.
Yeah. We got barter items though. I got knives, got some matches, got some other stuff.
Knife would
Okay.
be.
Looking back to Kasuf, I will attempt to make it known. I'm sorry, we have been rude. Hopefully I'm not making that make noise. 9?
Okay, you generally manage to calm things down a bit.
I will offer the bottle of wine.
Okay, they take it. They're there's not an understanding of what it is per se, particularly the pills, but they do get the sense that you are trying to be hospitable and return, their welcome. So that calms them down considerably.
Okay.
I can pull an MRE out. Here's some food.
I don't know if that would be
That
considered
might
hospitality.
get us killed.
Yeah, hey, easy now.
Just saying.
We're trying to make them like us.
Yeah.
However, the knife might be a good idea, though I would save that for last.
That's fine.
Hilt first, please. Hilt first. And I'll pantomime, point at the bottle of wine and pantomime, you drink it. It's a beverage.
they get that.
Hopefully they gather that it's a bottle. Generally,
It's
liquid
a
things you
bottle
drink
with
come in a bottle.
something liquid in it.
Yeah.
Make a roll.
5?
By the way, as this session has gone on, the numbers she's announced have gone way up. Like she keeps rolling and going.
Like hope.
That's fantastic. Hey, this is diplomacy, man. This is what it is. This is the whole thing. You wait around for the translator.
Yeah.
Do their thing, and then
BS if I've ever seen it.
All right. Toriano, restate for Kat our objectives of why we are here.
why we are here. Okay.
Yes.
Do you restate for Cat? Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
All right.
Establish relations.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't mean to be that way.
Not relations, but relations.
Whole hand. I don't want to know what you're doing.
Our goal is to establish contact with the indigenous population and make sure that the local condition and assess what the local conditions are with the local populace. Make sure that they're healthy, happy, whether they're how things are on the local condition. We are to provide ongoing assistance to the contracted government personnel in establishing proactive relations with the indigenous population. In other words, we'd like to put together some sort of, not diplomatic per se, but we'd like to have an arrangement. We can come and go. We'd like to potentially trade with them. We'd like to make both sides better by the asking. We're going to conduct extensive planetary surveys and develop a full picture of local conditions, maps, etc., cartography. Yay, that'll be fun. I'm hoping that we can montage some of that.
Yes.
And then, where it's possible, discover and assess resources and technology in keeping with national security interests based upon the assessment, inquire, or document said items, assets, or resources in such fashion as that best serves the interest, balancing national security against what they have and what we want.
Okay.
But our very last one is promote positive, peaceful relations with the local population.
All right. Well, let's start with objective number 1.
Right on.
Okay. Now how to figure out how to interpret this. If only my major was interpretive dance.
It's like roll a 10.
You can do it.
Don't fail me now, Die. You've been the best so far.
You're good at this. Just remember that.
You're a worthwhile person. You can do it.
Listeners, if only you could hear the daggers that I am staring at Josh.
Oh.
Very good.
Kidding. Am I?
She wasn't.
Okay.
And Kat, if you've got your phone, or Cindy, or even Josh, if you wanted to look at them again, I have sent the order list to the group chat. So if you wanted to pull it up and reread it, it's there.
Fantastic.
Yay.
And my light is telling me that I got it. Awesome. Okay. How do I relay that we just want to establish contact between our people? Yeah. We just want to talk with you.
No, I'm waiting for you to get frustrated and stand up. I am your God. It would make things so much easier. Just
Because that worked out so well the first time.
Have everybody line up. She's going to give you the touchy-feely. Turn your head and cough. Okay, everybody else, start mining again. Let's go. We need this stuff loaded into carts. It's time to go. The rest of you quit eyeballing me and move on. Okay, I'm sorry. I could have had this wrapped up 10 minutes in. Kat, don't do any of that. Don't just. I'm sorry. Please.
Wasn't going to.
Okay, good. Good.
My voice doesn't carry enough for that.
Ignore me right now.
But we've already had that discussion.
Sorry.
Okay, yeah. We just want to talk with you, like collective you.
Make friends?
Not making friends with a 3.
There's several nods at that.
Is everyone okay? I keep hitting this thing.
Does anyone need help?
What would be a good pantomime for that?
Is anyone sick?
Yeah. Is anyone sick? Sick. 5.
They get the idea, and you generally get asked if you're able to help with someone who's sick.
Yes.
Okay. And again, you're asked generally, is that why you've come?
Yes. And I'll give the bottle of ibuprofen. Medicine. If there's a word for that in my dictionary, which hasn't helped me so far much.
They look at the pills and it's like, okay.
Tell them, show me who is sick.
Okay. Who is sick?
Bring them forward. I will help them.
Bring them to us. 7. Getting better.
All right. You get some traction in telling them that she can treat people. And they look back to the other woman.
Her or the woman in the crowd?
The woman who's been standing near. And they generally indicate that she is also someone who treats the ill.
Boom. Give it
Okay.
What do you think I've been doing?
That might be a bit aggressive.
Yeah, that's my shtick. Sorry.
No, it is. That's why I'm talking.
So they say, generally, would she like to help?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. The older woman sort of gives you a long look. You're being examined. But she's not disrespectful about it. It's just, examining you a bit. And give me a roll. That's
9.
You don't have a real sense of time, but it's sort of a okay when the sun comes over.
When do we want them to bring the sick?
I can start right now.
Now? 4.
The woman kind of heaves a sigh, which is, she's a bit annoyed at all of this, but she comes over and she offers to take you by the hand. And she leads you off.
Okay.
So we'll come back to you.
Okay.
So I'm sitting here with a bottle of ibuprofen in my hand and both the healers have gone. Okay.
You've got the magic heal all. You're good.
The cure-all. Panacea here.
Well, science and medicine is its own language, too. So I'm hoping that there will be similarities enough that they can communicate at least in that respect.
We can hope.
Yes.
I'll offer the bottle to Kasuf again.
All right. He takes it and sets it aside with the bottle of wine.
Yes, we've just encouraged the new populace of another planet to mix prescription drugs and alcohol. Wonderful.
It's just
We're-
ibuprofen. It's okay. We didn't give him the
folks.
oxys yet.
Yeah, but he's going to go, everything in that little bottle, you can just chow with this liquor thing. You just wash that right down. Great precedent. God, I'm just ruining another planet already. Independent
feel
command.
anything
Hooray! 6 months, they're all addicts, sir. If we keep sending them OxyContin and wine, they can do whatever they want. They can take anything. They don't care. I'm sorry.
Well, whatever works.
Oh. It hurts me to say, but it worked with the Native Americans.
Well,
That hurts.
and smallpox
It did.
blankets, but yeah.
The views expressed by some of the players do not necessarily reflect the views of Scott Troiano nor any of the subsidiary corporations. To continue.
Thank you, Mr. Legal Man.
Well,
Okay.
That's
Um,
factual.
it's true.
That's factual.
Yeah.
It is factual. You're right.
Yes.
Moving back on.
Hello, history
honestly don't
degree
know
here.
I know.
Duh.
That's one of the ones that I studied.
It seems to be getting a bit later on. And they ask if you want to rest.
Yes, please.
All right.
Try to be as polite as I can with a 4.
Okay. They generally all usher you off to rooms that are off to the side of the plaza.
Okay.
Each individual one.
Excellent. Doctor's still gone?
Doctor is still gone. She's only been gone a couple of minutes.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like, and it's hours later. It's like, okay. Because I didn't know if.
No, you've been
Later that
talking
evening.
animatedly with the locals for the better part of the afternoon.
Okay.
It's starting to roll into evening.
A nice afternoon game of charades.
Yay.
Everyone's favorite.
Sounds like.
Okay. Well, then we retire to freshen up.
All right. The rooms are wattle and daub, very serviceable. There's bedding. Fresh water is available in basins. You do notice that, as well as a variety of. It's not meat, but it is some kind of vegetable, possibly a fruit, unless you want to try it.
I would like to try it.
He looked right at him and he said, I would like to try it. Go ahead.
It tastes fine. It tastes something like a pear.
Ooh, nice.
Good stuff.
Lovely.
Calhoun comes walking out of his lot with a basket, just arm. These are great, Sarge.
You guys got to try
Great,
this.
Captain. You had your fruit basket yet?
The turn down service here was great.
Yeah, exactly. Did you get a little chocolate on your pillow? Okay, I go in. I'm going to maintain my gear. I'm going to check the room. It's relatively. I'll try the fruit. I'll take a bite.
What are you going to do?
I'm eating the fruit. Looking for more women. It's all good.
Is Kasuf showing us to our quarters, or is it the men who are with him?
It's the young guy shows you where your quarters are.
I will try asking him where is Tanis. He may or may not know. Not with the 2, I'm not.
He gets the name, but he's not sure what you're asking. But he, is very insistent on, please enjoy our hospitality.
Okay, I'll
He's
try
trying
again
to make
later.
you feel welcome.
I'll try again later then.
All right. What else do you really do?
Thank him and sit the fuck down for a minute
All
and
right.
enjoy my fruit basket.
The 3 of you are in your rooms for a few minutes when the curtains brush aside on yours and a young man enters. And the 2 of you are each visited by a fairly young woman. And with that, we're going to cut, and we'll be back with the adventures of our doctor.
Damn it.
Thank you for listening to Adventures of Scott. It's SG1.
Folk are coming in, and we're not going to. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. That concludes us tonight for Stargate SG10. We thank you for listening, and as always, you'll hear from us real soon. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening. And that's it tonight for us on the Gaming with Scott Presents Season 1 of Stargate SG10. You can always send us an email at gamingwscott@gmail.com or catch us on Twitter. Joshua Jackson is at ActionJack853 and me, Scott T, at GamingWScott. You can always find us on Facebook at facebook.com/GamingWScott. This is a Southgate Media production. Remember, we all represent Earth every time we venture out into the world and beyond. Be the example you want to see. And as always, you'll be hearing from us real soon.